So here's an example, and it says a man travels a distance of 100 kilometers, distance D, at an average speed of 80 kilometers per hour. So that's 80 kilometers per hour, which is a speed. So I'll write S. What was his journey time in minutes? So let's be careful here. So D for this case is 100 kilometers. S, the speed, is 80 kilometers per hour. What was his journey time? What's the time taken? What is T? That's what the question is asking for. But it's asking us to find what the time is in minutes. So the first thing we do is we'll find the time in hours. So we know that, well, speed is distance over time, and time is distance over speed, which is something you should remember. So in this case, the time is the distance of 100 kilometers divided by the speed of 80 kilometers per hour. So we know the time is going to be in hours. So the time taken is whatever 100 over 80 is. So 0 cancels 0. 2 and 8 is 4. 2 and 10 is 5. So 5 over 4. It's 5 over 4 hours. You can use long division. So what's 5 divided by 4? So you try that approach. I prefer the approach where you just divide by inspection. Use whichever suits you. So 5 divided by 4 is 1.25. And our unit is hours. So time is 1.25 hours. So, by the way, this HRS means hours, as in it's just a short form, an abbreviation of hours. Anyway, the time taken is 1.25 hours, but we want to find the time in minutes. So how do we convert this to time in minutes? Well, I'll just give you an example you should be able to work. That will help you understand the approach. So if I set a time, so I'll call this T2. So time is 1.5 hours. What is this in minutes? Well, you know that 0.5 hours is half of an hour. 0.5 is half. I know that half of an hour is 30 minutes. So you know that this is actually 1 hour plus 0.5 hours. So it's 1 hour, which is 60 minutes, plus 0.5 hours, which is 30 minutes. So 60 plus 30 is 90. So that's 90 minutes. I'm going to do a similar thing here. So 1.25 hours, you know 1.25 is 1 plus 0.25. So I'm splitting the whole number and the decimal part. So this is 1 hour plus 0.25 hours. So we're still in the same thing. I just moved to a different page. So what do I do here? I have a time that's in a decimal format, and it's 1.25 hours. And what I've done is I've broken down the 1.25 into two parts, a whole number part and a decimal part. So the whole number part here is 1, and the decimal part is 0.25. And you can do a check. 1 plus 0.25 is 1.25. So my time is 1 hour and 0.25 hours. So we're trying to convert the hours to minutes. You know that 1 hour is 60 minutes. But what is 0.25 hours? Well, let's do that here. Because 1 hour is 60 minutes, to find 0.25 hours, what do we have to do to this left-hand side to make it say 0.25 hours? We have to multiply it by 0.25. Why? Because 0.25 times 1 is 0.25. So I'm going to say 0.25 times this left-hand side of the equation is equal to, and now whatever I do to the left-hand side of an equation, I have to do this to the right-hand side. So 0.25 times 60 minutes. So that gives me 0.25 times 1 hour, which is 0.25 hours, and then 0.25 times 60 minutes. Now you can actually carry out the multiplication, and you should do that, but 0.25 times 60 is 15. So there are two ways to do this calculation. The first way, well, I'm coming back to this first. So this is 60 minutes plus 0.25 hours is 15 minutes. So the time taken is 75 minutes. So that's the answer to that question. The question told us to find time in minutes. We found time in hours, 1.25 hours. Then we now converted it to minutes, which is 75 minutes. So back to this calculation here, which isn't the focus of this video, but you can actually either say, well, what's a 60 times 0.25? Or you can say, well, 0.25 is the same thing as 1 over 4. So 1 over 4 times 60 is what? Then you can actually now say, well, that's the same thing as 60 divided by 4. You can now carry out your long division, or you can do your multiplication of a number, of a decimal number, by any other number. So make sure you get 15. So that's your answer.